I am Wei Yunling's bride, married to ward off misfortune. After our wedding, he despised me in every way. He disliked my loud voice and great strength, trying every means to divorce me. I beat him for a whole night, telling him, "When you become the top scholar after the royal examination, I'll agree to divorce." Later, he indeed became the top scholar. I planned to divorce him and run away, thinking of finding a new husband to marry into my house. But he blocked my path with his men, his eyes bloodshot. "Damn it, I knew you had your eyes on that gardener in the mansion, didn't you?" Ding! This novel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. My mother died early, and my father was a gambler. To pay off his gambling debts, he sold me to the Wei family for 10 taels of silver to be a bride to ward off misfortune. I was to marry Wei Yunling, the third young master of the Wei family, the most useless young master in the city. Half a month ago, he fell ill after falling into the river while trying to retrieve a handkerchief for Miss Zhao. He had been bedridden since. Since he couldn't get up, my groom at the wedding ceremony was a large rooster. When it was time to enter the bridal chamber, I overheard the maid Chunhua secretly mocking me. "You country bumpkin, see how long you can enjoy yourself once the young master passes away." "I don't know how long I'll enjoy myself, but I know you're finished." I immediately tore off my veil and dragged her before the old madam to report her misconduct. "Grandmother, she's cursing my husband to an early death." The old madam's face changed upon hearing this. The housekeeper gave Chunhua several slaps, making her face swell up. After dealing with Chunhua, the old madam kept me behind to eat some pastries and instructed me to live well with Wei Yunling. When I saw Wei Yunling, it was already dark. His face was pale, lying on the bed in his wedding attire. From a distance, he indeed didn't look like a living person. I checked his breathing and listened to his chest. It was fine, he wasn't completely dead. Perhaps my head was too heavy and woke Wei Yunling up. He coughed incessantly. After a while, he noticed me and frowned. Where did this ugly creature come from? Wei Yunling was very handsome, more handsome than all the men I had seen in my life combined. But he called me ugly. I couldn't help it and punched him. "I'm your wife." Grandmother said we should get along well, you can't talk to me like that. Wei Yunling gasped. "Wife? The one I love is the gentle and virtuous Miss Zhao. How can an ugly creature like you be my wife? I'm very strong and good at beating people. If you keep talking like that, I'll hit you." Wei Yunling was a man of integrity. Even after being beaten by me for half an hour, he only silently shed tears without crying out. Being a bride was too tiring, and I actually fell asleep on top of Wei Yunling. There was a faint medicinal scent on him that smelled reassuring. After half a night, Wei Yunling's arms were numb from being pressed. The first thing he did when he opened his eyes in the morning was to write a divorce letter. "Look carefully, this is a divorce letter. I don't want an ugly creature like you." "Is this really a divorce letter?" I happily picked it up and asked him to read it to me. "Now, Wei's wife." Wei Yunling could only read 4 words before he couldn't continue. Oh, he didn't know my name yet. "Yao Yao, Lin Yao Yao," I reminded him. "Here's the brush pen, write it yourself." This was my first time in such a large study, my first time holding a brush pen. Before, I used to hide outside the school and eavesdrop on the old teacher reading books. When I got back, I would draw on the ground with willow branches. I even created my own characters. The 3 characters for Lin Yao Yao came out crooked, looking like ghostly scribbles. Wei Yunling laughed until tears came out. "Lin Yao Yao, you're truly ugly and stupid." As he laughed, he started to cry. "Marrying such an ugly and stupid wife, I'm so miserable." He cried, so I beat him. Knowing he could write, I hit him a bit lighter than last night. After struggling with him all morning, I finally learned to write the Lin in Lin Yao Yao. This commotion made us miss breakfast. The Wei family didn't have lunch. Soon, I heard Wei Yunling's stomach growling. "Do you want some fried eggs?" My fried eggs are very fragrant and delicious. When I arrived at the Wei family yesterday, I had already inquired about everything. Wei Yunling was very picky about food and had his own small kitchen. "Fried eggs? Lin Yao Yao, who do you think I am?" His voice was tinged with anger. "I beat 10 eggs and fried them in a pan with lard. sprinkling freshly picked scallions from the garden before serving. The rice was mixed with lard and drizzled with soy sauce. The taste was truly exquisite. Wei Yunling stared at me in disbelief. Lin Yao Yao, are you a pig spirit? You finished that whole pan of rice. Not only did you eat it all, but you didn't leave a single grain for me. I won't tell him that I never intended to make any for him in the first place. Filled with anger, Wei Yunling finally remembered to pay respects to his grandmother. Just you wait, if I don't drive you out of the mansion today, I'll take your surname. I nodded as I swallowed the last mouthful of rice. This was the most satisfying meal I had eaten in my memory. When Wei Yunling went to complain to his grandmother, Chen Hua leaned close to my ear and snickered. You're finished. The young master will kick you out of the mansion. In the end, Chen Hua was very disappointed. Not only did grandmother not send me away, but she also gave me a gold bracelet. She was a person of great wisdom. Even if I'm not in the Wei mansion in the future, I'll remember to burn paper money for her. On the way back to the room, Wei Yunling hung his head dejectedly. Lin Yao Yao, what kind of magic did you use on grandmother to make her like you so much? Perhaps it's because I'm good-looking and lovable. I don't see it at all. Oh, only smart people can see it. Wei Yunling gritted his teeth. He couldn't understand how there could be such a shameless person like me in this world. Yet he could neither out-talk nor out-fight me. By my third day in the Wei mansion, I had won over a bunch of maids. They all admired me, thinking I was a person of great ability. I had offended the head maid Chen Hua. Wei Yunling disliked me, yet I still managed to win grandmother's favor. In this family, grandmother was the real boss. For a while, the threshold of Wei Yunling's room was almost worn out by the constant visits of these maids. After half a month with Wei Yunling, I learned 8 words. Wei Yunling, Lin Yao Yao, divorce papers. I'm truly the most amazing girl in the world. Oh my, look how proud you are, learning 8 words is no big deal. I can read the entire 3-character classic, doesn't that make me a prodigy? Then will you teach me to read the 3-character classic? Fool! This is the 3-character classic, what you're holding is a forbidden book. Wei Yunling snatched the book from my hands. I couldn't read, but I saw his face turn blood red. 3 months passed with Wei Yunling, filled with playful banter. His complexion improved day by day. Grandmother gave me another longevity lock, made of gold. Tonight, Lord Wei returned. He worked as an official in the capital, coming home once every 3 months. Wei Yunling always boasted to me about how amazing Lord Wei was. But when he actually returned, the father and son seemed awkward. Especially Wei Yunling, who kept a tense face, not going to greet Lord Wei, but instead hiding in his room playing with crickets. I asked grandmother and learned that today was Wei Yunling's birthday. On the day Wei Yunling was born, Mrs. Wei had a difficult labor. Lord Wei and Mrs. Wei were deeply in love. He always harbored resentment towards Wei Yunling for causing his beloved wife's death. Thus, their relationship was not close. Before bed, I brought Wei Yunling a bowl of noodles. Longevity noodles, freshly made, still steaming hot. Here, eat it all in one go, or the good luck will be broken. Lin Yao Yao, do you think I'm pitiful because no one celebrates my birthday? Let me tell you, I, Wei Yunling, never need such pity. You think I'll remember your kindness just because you made me longevity noodles? Dream on. His voice was tinged with anger. There was a crash sound. Something broke. A shadow leapt outside the window. Wei Yunling looked at the newcomer, his eyes full of shock. How can it be? I quickly caught the longevity noodles in my arms, watching the father and son stare at each other wide-eyed. Finally, Lord Wei spoke first, breaking the tense silence. Yao Yao is a good girl, you can't bully her. I strongly agreed. Wei Yunling's eyes blazed with anger upon hearing this. If anyone but his father had said those words, he would have shown them what the little tyrant of Western City was capable of. But it was his father who spoke. Wei Yunling turned his back, responding with silence. Lord Wei pursed his lips, making to leave. But I stopped him. Father, you are a gentleman, and a gentleman's word is his bond. Since that's the case, you can't go back on your promise to me. Lord Wei was a man of principle, and my words kept him from leaving. Since he stayed, I began to speak. I hugged Wei Yunling's broken things, laying them out on the ground one by one. There was a kite with broken strings, a tiger head shoe with a hole, a faded rattle drum, a creaky rocking horse. Do you remember these things? It doesn't matter if you don't. You're a high official, your heart is filled with the people of the capital. Naturally, you can't see the family right in front of you. Lord Wei said nothing. Wei Yunling's face reddened, and he tried to snatch his treasure box from me. Lin Yao Yao, you really don't know your place anymore. Who told you to touch these things? Quickly put them away. I put the longevity noodles in his arms and gave him a flick on the forehead. The crisp sound made Lord Wei wince. Eat quickly, or I'll flick you to death. Wei Yunling was hurt by the flick, but he started slurping the longevity noodles. Although I hit Wei Yunling, the bond between father and son made Lord Wei feel as if his own head had been given a lump. When you're not here, my husband often tells me what a good official you are, loving the people like your own children. You might not remember these children's toys, and it's okay if you don't know, I'll tell you. These are toys that Wei Yunling bought at high prices from children in Western City. Lord Wei frowned slightly, seemingly not understanding Wei Yunling's strange hobby. I picked up a toy, pointing at the incomplete Wei character on it. Does it look familiar? These are things you gave to orphaned children in the city. Although people in the city say my husband is an uneducated young master, he's so impressive that he hasn't forcibly taken any girls. And even the toys you gave away, he bought back with money. I think you have quite a good son. No one wants to be born with only father. Moreover, my husband is still naive and silly now. But when he becomes smarter in the future, he might not burn paper money for an indifferent father. Lord Wei's face changed from white to red to green, quite a spectacle. In the end, I don't know which word struck a nerve. He knelt on the ground and cried for a long time. Wei Yunling, in his foolishness, hugged him and cried too. Actually, that night, Wei Yunling couldn't clearly remember what Lin Yao Yao had said. He only remembered that the flick on his forehead hurt. And the longevity noodles were strangely hot, bringing tears to his eyes. The moon that night was very round. It was the roundest moon he had ever seen in his memory. That night was a bit cold. But his heart was warm, as if it housed a hot water bottle. After Lord Wei left, Wei Yunling became a little tyrant again. Fearless of heaven and earth, with his tail held high. Spoiled children are all like this, unruly and uncontrollable. After the father-son relationship was mended, grandmother was in high spirits and gave me a rouge shop. She said the money earned from that shop didn't need to be reported to the Wei family, and could be my private fund. When Wei Yunling heard this, he grumbled. Does Lin Yao Yao even know how to do accounting? What if she loses money? Is there anyone in this household better at losing money than you? Grandmother teased. Everyone in the room laughed along, and Wei Yunling's cheeks puffed up in anger. I secretly poked him, and before he could react, I said, I don't know how to do accounting, but you could teach me. I don't want to teach a fool who only learned 8 words in half a month. Unless you. Wei Yunling tilted his chin up, looking smug. By the time he thought of a way to manipulate me, I had already disappeared. Where's Lin Yao Yao? The young madam has gone out. Wei Yunling gritted his teeth in frustration and made a bet with Fushan. Want to bet? Lin Yao Yao will come begging me within an hour. What could Fushan say? He just coaxed and persuaded the young master in front of him, accompanying him to wait for the young madam. 1 hour passed, then another. Wei Yunling's eyes were swollen from staring, but he still didn't see me return. He turned the Wei mansion upside down and finally found me with the housekeeper. Lin Yao Yao, what are you doing here? Learning accounting. I waved the abacus in my hand. I had given it serious thought. Although Wei Yunling was educated, he was a genuine spendthrift. If I really asked him to teach me accounting, learning from him might ruin the shop's business. I needed to find someone with great wisdom. Grandmother had great wisdom, but her eyes had been damaged from overwork years ago. Moreover, teaching me would be somewhat tiring for her. After some consideration, I found the housekeeper, Mr. Su. Mr. Su was very kind, plump like a Maitreya Buddha. On the day I entered the mansion, it was he who told me about Wei Yunling's small kitchen. When I went to him, he agreed with a smile. Mr. Su was the best teacher I had ever met. Even when I made mistakes, he didn't blame me. Instead, he praised me for making progress and having talent. He was very patient, even more so than the old scholar in the village. Every time I went to his place to do accounting, he would prepare a plate of mung bean cakes for me. They were fragrant, sweet, and especially delicious. A month later, I could make the abacus beads click rapidly. I never made the same mistakes again, and Mr. Su praised me in front of grandmother. The young madam's accounting is both fast and accurate. This old servant has nothing left to teach her. I had completed my apprenticeship, but I felt a bit sad. I would no longer be able to eat those sweet mung bean cakes. But I'm not sad anymore. Mr. Su said if I liked his mung bean cakes, he could make them for me every day. I refused. Eating them every day would get tiresome. I want to eat them 4 times a month. Slow and steady, for the long term. When Wei Yunling heard this, he laughed heartily. Lin Yao Yao, you're so unambitious. You can be bought with just a plate of mung bean cakes? If I give you plum blossom cakes, lotus leaf cakes, water chestnut cakes, and lotus root osmanthus cakes, wouldn't you worship me like a god? Of course not. Mother only knew how to make mung bean cakes. She had never made those beautiful and fancy cakes. Just like how the best dish I could make was fried eggs. Children from poor families, how could we have seen so many extravagant things? Being able to fill our stomachs and not starve to death in years of famine was already a great blessing. Wei Yunling was a young master born with a silver spoon in his mouth, dressed in fine clothes and eating delicacies. The young master was naive and didn't understand these things. On June 3rd, I woke up early. Before leaving, I asked Wei Yunling, "Do you want to go out with me?" "Go out?" "I don't want to go with you. This young master is going to Spring Breeze Pavilion today." Wei Yunling was wearing a sky blue robe today, with several jade pendants hanging at his waist, jingling as he walked. He was already fair-skinned and handsome. After recovering from his illness over the past half-year, his complexion was rosy. And because he had been teaching me to read in the study every day, he had acquired a scholarly air. The maids in the courtyard, used to seeing Wei Yunling howling after being beaten, blushed when they unexpectedly met eyes with such a proper person. Wei Yunling was very pleased with these admiring glances and hummed a tune as he walked. After he left, Chen Hua came to remind me. "Miss Zhao will be attending a poetry gathering at Spring Breeze Pavilion today. You should hurry and bring the young master back now. Or else if he and Miss Zhao take a liking to each other, you'll be thrown out. Don't blame me for kicking you when you're down then." Chen Hua held out her hand after speaking. "Give me a chicken leg." I gave her a piece of mung bean cake, covered the basket, and left. All the way, my face felt hot. Chen Hua must be cursing me behind my back. If I had known, I wouldn't have given her that piece of mung bean cake either. I walked and walked until I came to a small mound. It was my mother's grave. I laid out scrambled eggs, mung bean cakes, roast chicken, roast duck, in front of the grave. I knelt before the tombstone. Now that I could read, I knew my mother's name was Su Lingyu. Books say that Lingyu means jade. Jade is precious and should be cherished by people. But mother lived like a stubborn stone soaked in a stream. Hardships struck her like a sudden blow. Yet mother always smiled, like a flower blooming in the mud. I wiped the tombstone again and again, whispering, "Mother, Yao Yao is now the young madam of the Wei family, living a good life. My husband is handsome and obedient, a promising man. Every day I have endless mung bean cakes and scrambled eggs to eat. I finally saved enough money to buy steamed buns, roast chicken, and many other delicacies I couldn't name for mother. But she couldn't eat them anymore. Tears, somehow, started flowing. Oh, it wasn't me crying. It was the heavens crying. It started raining. My clothes were wet and sticky, clinging to my body uncomfortably. Because of the rain, I became a bit confused, unable to tell if I had cried or not. Perhaps I had. In a daze, I seemed to see my mother. She was wearing a lake blue long dress, the cloth on her head swaying slightly. She reached out to me, "Yao Yao." My mother was the most beautiful girl in Western City. But on the day she died, she was thin and gaunt, like a bundle of firewood. My mother died of starvation. I suddenly woke up. It was just a dream. When I awoke, someone was carrying me on their back. He patted my back. "Don't cry, Yao Yao, don't cry. Put me down." I kicked and hit and pushed him, but he gritted his teeth and didn't make a sound. At the crucial moment, someone I didn't expect came running over. "You scoundrel, let go of Lin Yao Yao quickly." It was Wei Yunlang. I looked at him joyfully. But beside him stood a beautiful young lady. The carriage had the word Zhao written on it. That must be Wei Yunlang's sweetheart, Miss Zhao. I fell into Miss Zhao's arms. She was wearing the most fashionable pleated skirt, soft and fragrant. I think I understood why Wei Yunlang liked her. If I were a man, I would also like such a gentle and graceful girl. Of course. Even as a girl, I liked Miss Zhao very much. Wei Yunlang's fists, mixed with muddy water, struck countless times. Blood seeped into the mud. Not satisfied, Wei Yunlang went forward and kicked twice more. Until Fu Shan pulled his sleeve, reminding him. "Young master, stop beating him, that's the young madam's father." Wei Yunlang's kicking leg paused, nearly causing him to fall face first into the mud. I don't know what happened after that. Because I fainted. When I opened my eyes again, Wei Yunling's eyes were red, sitting by my bed wailing. "Lin Yao Yao, wake up quickly, you eat 8 steamed buns at once. If you're gone, who will eat the steamed buns?" Fu Shan coughed twice. "Young master, the young madam has caught a cold, it's not life-threatening. Dr. Guo said she'll be fine after taking the medicine." Who would believe that? What good family has someone sleep for 3 days from a cold? So I had been asleep for 3 days? When I sat up in bed, I startled Wei Yunlang. After a moment, he came to his senses and wrapped his arms tightly around me, squeezing me so hard I could barely breathe. "Lin Yao Yao, I'm so glad you're not dead, wah wah wah. If you had died, who would I ask to write the divorce papers?" When grandmother learned I was all right, she gave me another gold ingot. She really. I could cry. If only she were my real grandmother. For the 10,000th time, I envied Wei Yunlang. After another 3 days of recovery, I finally remembered what had happened that day. Where's my father? Oh, my father-in-law is living the high life now, doing just fine. Take me to see him. Wei Yunlang had so much he wanted to say. And he wanted to show off the rabbit lantern he had won at the Spring Breeze Pavilion. He wanted that silly girl to know how talented her husband was. But before he could speak his boastful words, his hand unconsciously reached for hers. Somehow, Lin Yao Yao had become a part of his life. Usually, seeing her was a bit annoying. But if she were truly gone, his heart would feel empty. I stared at Wei Yunlang's eyes with some surprise. It was a gentleness I had never seen before. I had been through an illness. He was much more obedient than before. Perhaps Miss Zhao liked gentle young men. My head hurt so much. Forget it, I won't think about it anymore. When I saw my father again, he was dressed decently, looking somewhat respectable. He was almost unrecognizable compared to my memories. He deliberately tidied his clothes, dusting off non-existent dirt, and smiled at me ingratiatingly. I kicked him down and stripped off his clothes. "While I'm still in a good mood, get out of the way manner quickly. Otherwise, I'll die with you. Yao Yao." His face was swollen and red, but he didn't fight back when hit. He looked utterly pitiful. The servants in the manor whispered among themselves, giving Chunhua a thumbs up. "Chunhua, you're amazing. You could stand up to such a fierce young madams back then and still live to this day." Chunhua rolled her eyes in anger. More than fear, everyone was shocked. After all, my previous behavior in the Wei manor was that of a straightforward, somewhat forceful simpleton. Like a soft bun with a stone filling. I had never actively confronted anyone. Wei Yunlang was greatly startled. After the shock, an indescribable sense of happiness welled up in his heart. "Lin Yao Yao is quite gentle with me." His voice was low, and I didn't hear it. My attention was all on my father. "You harmed grandmother, harmed my mother, and now who else do you want to harm? Who wants to see you putting on this fake act here?" I can read now, and I understand that indenture contract on the table. My father's previously swollen face turned pale in an instant, as if drained of blood. He hung his head, changed back into his previous clothes, and left the Wei manor. Before leaving, he slipped Wei Yunling 2 taels of silver. Take good care of Yao Yao. All this was relayed to me by Wei Yunling later. If I had known, I would have definitely taken all his silver. Lin Yao Yao, you're so strange. Earlier when I had a falling out with my father, it was you who made a bet with him to cook longevity noodles for me, meddling and trying to reconcile us. How come you treat your own father like this? Lord Wei is a good person, my father is not. He's a gambler who sells my mother's dowry and clothes, our family's fields and oxen when he loses. If the Wei Manor hadn't offered more money, you'd probably see me in a brothel now. I can read now, and I know what that contract on the square table at home is. An indenture contract. An indenture contract for a brothel. My parents were once an envied loving couple. Later, he became addicted to gambling, and debt collectors came to our home. If mother hadn't sold her dowry, I wouldn't be here now. Father sold off all our ancestral property. Only then did he realize he should quit gambling. But it was too late, mother had died. Wei Yunling, if you ever gamble with anyone in the future, I'll beat you to death. Wei Yunling's carefully cultivated mood was killed by this sentence. Beat, beat, beat. Lin Yao Yao, is beating me all you know how to do? Just wait, this young master will abandon you sooner or later and marry a gentle lady. As soon as the words left his mouth, Wei Yunling regretted them. He had been standing nearby when his father-in-law was beaten today. Lin Yao Yao's hits really hurt. All right, seeing how angry you are today, this young master will let you have your way. But let's be clear, you can only hit my bottom. He protected his head, shifted a bit, changing to a position convenient for Lin Yao Yao. He had gotten used to it these days anyway. If he didn't get hit once, it felt. It felt strange. But what he never expected was that. Instead of the storm he was waiting for, he heard Lin Yao Yao say, Wei Yunling, you can't abandon me. If you abandon me, my reputation will be ruined and I won't be able to marry again. But on the day you become the top scholar, I can write a divorce paper with you. You're so smart, it should only take you 3 to 5 years to succeed, right? By then, you'll be the top scholar, and you can propose to Miss Zhao, she should agree. Wei Yunling was feeling quite pleased. But now his mind was full of my reputation will be ruined and I won't be able to marry again. Lin Yao Yao, who else do you want to marry if you leave me? If I was smooth and perceptive, I should have wheedled and changed the subject now. But I'm a stone. I thought seriously for a moment. Mr. Su's son is very good. He has round cheeks, looks very fortunate. He's just a gardener. Being a gardener is good, he has a skill, won't starve to death. Won't starve to death. Good, good, good. Wei Yunling's jar of vinegar had been smashed. Now he just wanted to bite the heartless girl in front of him to death, bit by bit. As he thought, so he did. That day, the usually frail young master successfully counterattacked, pinning Lin Yao Yao to the bed and biting fiercely. A rabbit biting a tiger, the ferocity is only momentary. Wei Yunling, driven by anger, had only managed to bite her cheek before being knocked down by a punch. Then, he was pinned down and beaten for a whole night. Wei Yunling's bottom was swollen like a small mountain. The usually lazy young master experienced for the first time the discomfort of being unable to sit or stand. Despite being injured, Wei Yunling wasn't behaving himself, lying on the couch and whining orders at me. Lin Yao Yao, I want tea. Lin Yao Yao, I want osmanthus cake. Lin Yao Yao, I'm in so much pain, blow on it for me. This was my fault, I accept the punishment. However, looking at Wei Yunling misbehaving on top of me, I slapped him. Wei Yunling, do you like Miss Zhao? Wei Yunling drew in a sharp breath. Of course, Miss Zhao is gentle and refined, cultured and reasonable. Unlike you, a rough shrew full of brute force. If you like her, then you can't flirt with me, nor with the maids in the Wei Manor. You should be wholeheartedly good to her. Wei Yunling, no girl in this world wants to share a husband with other women. Wei Yunling's Adam's apple bobbed, wanting to say something. But his mind felt like it was covered in paste. Wei Yunling, if you truly love Miss Zhao, I'll help you. You'll help me? What can you use to help me? Lin Yao Yao, tell me, what can a fool like you use to help me? Wei Yunling was handsome, even more handsome when angry. But to win Miss Zhao's affection, good looks alone weren't enough. Miss Zhao was gentle and graceful, beautiful and intelligent. Her family owned the leading fabric business in Western City, renowned far and wide. The Zhao family would open porridge stalls every year to provide for the common people. The largest orphanage in the city was established by Miss Zhao on her coming-of-age day, using her own money. Such an excellent young lady, coupled with a wealthy family background, was not a match for the irresponsible Wei Yunlang. Of course, not everyone thought the same way as I did. The most ordinary scholars' wives in Western City didn't think so. They would secretly mock Miss Zhao for being pretentious. In the social hierarchy of scholars, farmers, artisans, and merchants ranked the lowest. They believed that even if Miss Zhao had immense wealth, she still couldn't compare to even the most minor official. Wei Yunlang, if you become the top scholar, with an 8-bearer sedan chair and a 10-mile-long wedding procession to welcome the bride, Miss Zhao would surely consider you. No girl can resist a sincere heart. No girl can resist a sincere heart. Wei Yunling's lips curled in a mocking smile. Then what about you, Lin Yao Yao? Don't you want to be the wife of the top scholar? Forget it, take your belongings and get out of my bedroom. Seeing that I didn't move, he smirked and taunted. What's wrong? Didn't you say you wanted to draw a clear line between us? Now that I'm really asking you to leave this room, you can't bear to go? Wei Yunling half closed his eyes, trying to save face with his words. After a series of clattering sounds, I moved out. In the empty room, Wei Yunling lay on the couch, sulking. Damn it, his wretched mouth. By the time Wei Yunling wanted to swallow his pride and win me back, the news of our discord and separate sleeping arrangements had already spread throughout the Wei mansion. Hearing about our discord, Lord Wei took leave specifically to come back and beat Wei Yunlang. You little brat, not knowing how to cherish such a good wife, I'll thrash you to death today. Grandmother, who usually doted on her grandson, for once stood by and cheered. Beat him hard. Vent Yao Yao's anger. Wei Yunling was chased around in circles and was only rescued when he finally ran into me. He pulled at my sleeve. Lin Yao Yao, it's all your fault. Now I'm in trouble inside and out. Quick, explain everything clearly. I shielded him behind me and pleaded for mercy. Father, grandmother, my husband still needs to take the imperial examination in the future. You can't beat him. If he's hurt and can't pass the exam, it would be a great loss for the Wei family. Upon hearing that Wei Yunlang was going to take the imperial examination, Lord Wei's stick slipped from his hand, making a clanging sound as it hit the ground. Grandmother was also surprised. Has Yunlang gone mad? Lord Wei stepped forward to feel Wei Yunlang's forehead. Wei Yunlang was so angry he gritted his teeth. What? Do you look down on me that much? It's not that we look down on you. We never expected you to bring glory to the ancestors. We just hope that in the future, you won't cause trouble and get the whole family killed. Wei Yunlang was left speechless. Seeing his pitiful expression, I squeezed his hand. I believe in you. You're so smart, you even taught me, and your handwriting is so beautiful. You'll definitely become the top scholar. Wei Yunlang was so touched he almost cried. It wasn't until he woke up the next day that he came to his senses. Wasn't he beaten today because of me? He angrily rushed to my wing of the house. Lin Yao Yao, you better explain yourself clearly. Wei Yunlang ran to my wing but couldn't find any trace of me. After asking all the servants in the mansion, he finally learned that I was in the flower room. He stormed into the flower room, fuming. The scene before his eyes nearly infuriated him to death. At that moment, Su Yanting and I were picking flowers in the flower room. These flowers are so well grown, Yanting, you're really talented. You flatter me, young madam. Su Yanting scratched the back of his head, somewhat embarrassed. Wei Yunlang nearly coughed his lungs out. He looked at Su Yanting, then at the thorny flowers on the ground, deliberately straightening his posture to compare. Not as tall as him, not as fair as him, not as handsome as him, and with a rounder face. Lin Yao Yao, are you blind? What kind of rubbish are you growing? I'll uproot it sooner or later. That won't do. This is a new product for the Rouge shop. If you uproot the roses, be prepared for me to beat you. Wei Yunling was furious and slapped the rose, followed by an ouch. The thorns had pierced his palm. Lin Yao Yao, I'm bleeding, quick, bandage it for me. Wei Yunling was being unreasonable, like a child. Worried that he might harm the other roses, I hurriedly pulled him out. After bandaging Wei Yunling's finger, he started acting up again. Wei Yunling's internal alarm bells were ringing. Although Su Yanting wasn't tall and had a round face, not the type to make others wary. He noticed that Lin Yaoyao's eyes sparkled when she looked at him, as if they held stars. How could she look at someone else with such eyes? Wei Yunling thought for a moment, then took a sip of tea. Lin Yaoyao, you're getting more and more disrespectful. Even the tea you serve is sour. Sour tea? I took a sip. It's not, MMPH. Before I could finish speaking, Wei Yunling's mouth was on mine. He glared at Fushan standing outside the door. My wife and I are about to do what adults do. Close the door quickly. After Fushan left, moans and groans could be heard from behind the door. Wei Yunling held his head, pleading softly. Lin Yaoyao, you fool, hit me gently. How am I supposed to become the top scholar if you hurt me? All right, you can hit me. When I become the top scholar, I'll pay back today's humiliation one by one. After that day, Wei Yunling changed. His determination to study hard shocked everyone in the mansion. The servants even started a betting pool on how long Wei Yunling would persist. As days passed, his grandmother and father also realized Wei Yunling's resolve this time. Father specially invited a retired classmate to tutor Wei Yunling. Even if he couldn't become the top scholar, learning more knowledge would still be good. During this period, Wei Yunling was gentle and polite. His every word and action resembling the gentleman in books. When his former drinking buddies heard about this, they thought Wei Yunling was just putting on an act. They came to the mansion to invite him to a feast at the newly opened Drunken Fragrance house. Wei Yunling refused. They became annoyed and started criticizing Wei Yunling. Wei Yunling, what are you pretending to be? Everyone in Western City knows you're an uneducated young master. Don't think you're so great just because you won the poetry competition. Who knows if you bought that title? We're giving you face by inviting you to hang out, and now you're acting all high and mighty? We'll give you one more chance. If you don't come. After Wei Yunling had made up his mind to become the top scholar, his mind became sharper. When they entered, he had already asked Fushan to invite me over. I was behind the screen, listening to these good-for-nothing's insults, and became furious. I wielded a fire poker with great skill, beating these bastards until their own mothers wouldn't recognize them. They grimaced in pain, swearing to teach me a lesson. I laughed. That night, I went to these young masters' homes with an abacus and IOUs, demanding they repay their debts. People should read more books, otherwise they're too stupid and don't even know when they're being played. Take Wei Yunling for example. He had no friends before and was coaxed and tricked by these young masters, becoming their cash cow, only to be despised in the end. Fortunately, he had read enough to know to write receipts when lending money. I'm strong. It hurts when I hit Wei Yunling, but it hurts even more when I hit these beasts. After I beat them into a pulp, they didn't dare to be arrogant anymore, each one as obedient as a grandson. When I returned to the mansion, Wei Yunling was standing at the entrance. He held my hands and asked, Yao Yao, does it hurt? I shook my head. It doesn't hurt. That blood belongs to others. The maids eavesdropping from behind the wall couldn't help but gasp. Their eyes filled with even more admiration for Chunhua. Chunhua, huh. Just watch, look all you want without making a sound. Without the disturbance of his fair-weather friends, Wei Yunling studied even more diligently. Occasionally, the sound of reading could be heard from the west wing. Most of the time, it was the scratching of pen on paper. The maids began to speculate whether Wei Yunling was pretending to study. Just like young Master Zhang from the south of the city, who read books every day but couldn't even become a scholar in the end. Wei Yunling wasn't pretending. He was serious. Studying doesn't require loud voices, just dedication is enough. During Wei Yunling's study breaks, I managed the rouge shop business. The roses grown by Su Yanting were excellent. The rouge made from them had a faint floral scent, which the ladies in the city loved. The rouge business grew bigger and bigger. When the third rouge shop opened, Miss Zhao sent me an invitation card. It was perfect timing. If she hadn't come to find me, I would have sought her out. While researching rouge with Su Yanting, I discovered a flower that could dye fabric in a very pleasing color. When we put it in the rouge shop, it sold out quickly. The Zhao family was the leader in fabric dyeing, and Miss Zhao had great foresight. She naturally wouldn't miss this opportunity. Miss Zhao spoke softly and eloquently. Listening to her speak was a pleasure. "Why are you looking at me like that, young madam?" Zhao Wanlu had never seen such a pure gaze. After being stared at for so long, she wondered if there was something wrong with her. "You're very beautiful." Conversations between girls are simple. Just a few sincere compliments can keep them talking for a whole day. I negotiated the Ember Cloud silk business with her. Miss Zhao was very generous. The Wei family would provide the secret formula for Ember Cloud silk to the Zhao family. And in return, the Zhao family would give the Wei family 500 taels of silver and 10% of the profits from Ember Cloud silk sales. After discussing business, I wanted to invite Miss Zhao to stay for a meal at the mansion. But there were matters at the fabric shop, and Miss Zhao really couldn't spare the time. Because of business matters, my relationship with Miss Zhao grew closer. I called her Sis Wanlu, and she called me Yao Yao. Right after the new year, Sister Wanlu went south to expand the business. Wei Yunling was quite successful, coming first in the provincial exams. However, he fell seriously ill when he went to the capital for the imperial exams. When he returned from the capital, he was sickly and had lost his spirit. I went with him to the temple to draw fortune lots for peace of mind. Wei Yunling became unusually lively, pulling the master who interpreted the lots to ask about his love life. The master said he would ride a horse through the streets and meet his destined love. What does that mean? Young master has a good fate. All your wishes will come true. However, your love life will face some tribulations. Only after divorce and remarriage will you find your heaven-made match. After this commotion, Wei Yunling's sickly appearance disappeared. But his temper flared up, and if I hadn't held him back, he might have burned down the temple. I haven't read many books, but I understood what the master said. Wei Yunling's destined love is not me. Half a month later, Wei Yunling showed off a poem in front of me. "Lin Yao Yao, do you know who sent this to me?" I knew, of course I knew. The poem was written by Zhao Wanlu at my request. Books say that talented men and beautiful women are destined by heaven. This must refer to Wei Yunling and Wanlu. But looking at Wei Yunling's delicate features, I couldn't help feeling a bit reluctant. However, when I thought about my current wealth, that bit of sadness dissipated. Without Wei Yunling, finding an obedient husband would be just as good. Wei Yunling mumbled something in my ear. I didn't hear clearly. After that day, he fully recovered. Master was right, Wei Yunling had good fortune. The provincial exam was usually held every 3 years. And Wei Yunling had missed it due to illness, meaning he'd have to wait another 3 years. This September, the 9th prince discovered cheating in the imperial exams. The emperor was furious and punished those involved. The exams were reopened the following February. On the day the results were announced, news came from the capital that Wei Yunling had placed first in the royal exam. In March, during the palace examination, he again gained the emperor's favor. When the good news reached home, grandmother was beaming with joy. Everyone in the Wei household was delighted. I was happy too. But I had to leave. I still remembered what the fortune teller at the temple had said. He said Wei Yunling had good fortune, would ride a horse in a parade, and meet his destined love. Now it was time for him to meet his destined love. After Wei Yunling taught me to write, I practiced diligently every day, and now I could write beautiful small regular script. After writing the divorce papers, I went to bid farewell to grandmother. Upon hearing my words, she wept and stroked my head. Yao Yao is wonderful, it's Yunling who doesn't deserve you. Go without worry, as long as grandmother is alive, there will always be a place for you in the Wei household. Before I left, grandmother gave me a bag of gold leaves. While Wei Yunling rode his horse in the parade, chatting and laughing in the spring breeze, I opened my 6th rouge shop in the east of the city. Every day, I welcomed customers and counted money until my hands were sore. In my spare time, I developed several new styles. Due to limited quantities, they were expensive, which made them the shop's signature products. After the divorce, I thought about taking in a husband, someone obedient who could help me with the business. But I never imagined that before I could even post the notice for choosing husband, Wei Yunling would show up at my door. He wore a double-winged black gauze cap and a grand red embroidered robe. His features were as fine as a painting, and his every movement exuded charm and grace. May the young master, after our parting, find another splendid beauty to marry. May you both find joy and grow old together. What was meant to be a divorce letter sounded like a beautifully composed melody from his lips. I felt a bit intoxicated listening to it. I shook my head, reminding myself that male beauty can be deceptive, and I needed to stay clear-headed. Top Scholar Wei, what brings you here today? Top Scholar Wei? Lin Yao Yao, we've been married for 3.5 years. We've held hands, kissed, and you've seen everything there is to see of me. My innocence is ruined by your hands, and now you want to distance yourself from me with a simple Top Scholar Wei? How can there be such a convenient thing in this world? Wei Yunling's heart was on the verge of shattering. Heaven knows how he endured these years of preparation for the imperial examinations. He had been waiting to become the top scholar, to turn the tables and make Lin Yao Yao, that fool, regret her actions. He wanted her to realize just how excellent her husband was. And how many young ladies out there were waiting to marry him. On his way back alone, he had collected a sackful of handkerchiefs thrown by young ladies. He had planned to fling those handkerchiefs in front of Lin Yao Yao the moment he saw her. Then, he would stand tall and watch her melt like water before him, cling to his arm coquettishly, and say, "My dear husband, you're amazing." And finally, she would kiss him. From head to toe, that kind of kiss. Just thinking about this scene had kept Wei Yunling awake for 3 nights. His mind was filled with Lin Yao Yao's fair face and her apricot blossom eyes. But when he returned home and nearly turned the Wei mansion upside down, he still couldn't find Lin Yao Yao. She wasn't there, but she had left him a letter. Wei Yunling proudly boasted to Fushan. "The young madam may not say it, but she still cares about your young master in her heart." Wei Yunling's smile froze the moment he opened that letter. A divorce letter. Damn it, it was actually a divorce letter. He had become the top scholar, and Lin Yao Yao had written him a divorce letter. Had he forgotten how to read, or had Lin Yao Yao gone mad? Wei Yunling ran to find his grandmother. His grandmother smiled and told him, "It's good. Yao Yao is going to take in a new husband. This time she can choose an obedient one." Wei Yunling was about to explode with anger. Take in a new husband, and an obedient one at that? He couldn't believe it. What man in this world could be more obedient than him? He never fought back when beaten and even willingly offered his bottom. He rushed as fast as he could and finally found Lin Yao Yao's rouge shop. Su Yanting was standing outside and even greeted him, saying something like, "Good day, young master." "Good day, my foot." He had lost his wife. I hadn't expected Wei Yunling to be so shameless after becoming the top scholar. He gripped my hand tightly and gritted his teeth. "Lin Yao Yao, have you taken a fancy to that gardener? Are you planning to take him as your new husband? Damn it, you're not speaking. Does that mean I guessed right?" It took me a while to come to my senses and realize who Wei Yunling meant by gardener. However, Brother Yanting isn't a gardener. He's now the second manager of the rouge shop. "Oh, great! I haven't seen you for a few months, and now you have a dear brother. How come I never heard you call me Brother Yunling?" Wei Yunling grew more agitated as he spoke. A storm of kisses rained down on me. My lips were bitten until they bled. I stepped on his foot. He was in great pain but wouldn't let go. Although Wei Yunling had made the first move, in the end, he was the one crying. "Lin Yao Yao, you can't steal my heart and then break it in half." He made me cry too. "How dare you treat me like this? What about Sis Wan Lu? Lin Yao Yao, you fool. I'm like this, and you're still thinking about other women? What, is a new husband not enough for you? You have to find a dear sister too?" My memory of that day is a bit blurry. I only remember that Wei Yunling cried miserably, and so did I. We hugged each other and cried like 2 homeless puppies. After crying, we laughed. It turned out Wei Yunling liked me. What a coincidence, I liked him too. I felt a bit sorry for Sis Wanlu. When Wanlu learned about this, she laughed heartily. Silly Yao Yao, a woman can't spend her life clinging to one man. If you have time to come to me, I'll let you touch 10 or 8 handsome men. Wei Yunling cursed angrily. Stay away from Yao Yao, don't ruin our marital harmony. Wei Yunling and I got married again. He rode a tall horse, with a grand procession of 10 miles, and brought me into his home with great pomp and circumstance. It turns out, I was the bride Wei Yunling was marrying for the second time. The old Taoist priest at the temple had predicted it accurately. On our wedding day, Wei Yunling was drunk and kept telling everyone he met, "The weather is so nice today. How did you know I was getting married? Eat more." Yes, 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 I married Lin Yao Yao. He was grinning like an idiot, and the people he caught were getting quite annoyed. Wei Yunling was oblivious, smiling so much he was practically bubbling. He wanted everyone to know that he and I were married. 6 months after marrying Wei Yunling, my father died. I heard he was beaten to death while trying to save a young girl who had been sold to a brothel. When Wei Yunling accompanied me to see him, he looked like a lump of mud. I couldn't even recognize him. I still collected his remains for him. Wei Yunling patted my back and hummed nursery rhymes to me. I knew he was afraid I would be sad. This fool. I wouldn't be sad at all. My father died, he had been dead to me for a long time. Even if it wasn't him lying dead in front of me, but a stranger, I would have helped anyway. When I was young, I hated him, I wanted to eat him alive. But later, I couldn't bring myself to hate him anymore. It wasn't forgiveness, it wasn't letting go, it was just moving on. My life has been fleeting, I've met many good people, experienced much happiness. Why bother remembering those rotten people? Another night, Wei Yunling talked in his sleep. Lin Yao Yao, you can't take in a new husband. I won't. You can't take in a young lady either. Okay. I kissed him in the moonlight. Wei Yunling woke up startled, hiding in my arms like a frightened cat. Lin Yao Yao, your husband is a top scholar. If you ever get involved with some young gardener or girl in the future, I'll lock you up. Just like this. All right, we'll spend our whole lives together. The bright moon shone through the window. Inside, the room was filled with the warmth of spring. A lifetime is long. Our story continues tomorrow.